Hey everyone, it's been a while. It is now November and I'm here in Ueno and I'm going to do a video that I've been meaning to make for a long time. So I had this idea when this lens was announced. This is the Voigtlander Heliar Classic 50mm 1.5. It is a single coated lens that is purposefully flawed in the way that old lenses used to be. So it's not striving for perfection that modern lenses have, but rather to express some character and have that interesting bokeh and those interesting characteristics that those old single-coated classic lenses have. And of course it has that Voigtlander Heliar name. And while it is not made in Germany, it's made in Japan, obviously by Cosina in Nagano. It is the same name as those classic Voigtlander lenses from the pre-war and post-war German-made Voigtlander cameras, and I just happen to have one of those. So my Voigtlander Bessa that I've showed you in previous videos actually comes with the original Heliar lens. This is a lens that was originally designed apparently in 1900 and was made in several versions and iterations by Voigtlander for their very old classic cameras. Obviously they weren't classic at the time, but now they're classic cameras, and this bellows camera that I use and love has a Heliar lens that works really well for me, and since that lens has the same name and is kind of striving to reproduce the same kind of characteristics, I thought it would be really interesting to put them side to side and really see what kind of performance they can offer compared to each other. So the Heliar lens that is on my Bessa is a 105mm 3.5 lens, and that actually gets pretty darn close to what this 35mm lens is, which is a 50mm 1.5 on 35mm, obviously. So 135 film on the 1.5, and then 120 film on the 3.5. And those should be pretty close together in terms of bokeh and in terms of characteristics, and I'm really looking forward to see how they perform. So join me on a walk. We're gonna walk, I think, towards Asakusa from here. Let's see how far we can get and what we can find on this walk. And we're just gonna walk, and then we're gonna look at the photos side to side. I'm going to shoot the same kind of subjects with the same settings, and it should be really interesting. So yeah, I hope we'll find something interesting. Join me, and let's get going. So the Cosina Voigtlander website says about the Heliar Classic: the remaining chroma flare and single-coated finish on the lens give an extremely unique depiction at wide open aperture settings. This effect decreases when stopping down the aperture, and from the aperture f4 it performs equivalent to that of other Voigtlander BM mount 50mm lenses. I have found that the Heliar Classic provides quite nice smooth bokeh once you stop it down past f2. At the widest I found it a bit busy. Your mileage of course may vary. You can see some samples here. Forgot to mention, I have my favorite film, Lomo 400, color negative loaded in the Bessa. And then because I couldn't find any Loma 400 for 135, I loaded the next best thing, Codec Ultramax, which is very similar in most respects to Loma 400 in my Lights Minolta CL. So those should give us pretty similar images that should lend themselves to comparison between these two similarly named lenses. So that should be fun. I think right away it's pretty obvious that the Voigtlander Heliar Classic provides quite a bit more contrast than the uncoated Heliar on my Voigtlander Bessa, which is originally intended for black and white use. I do quite like the softer, more vintage look on the Bessa, but obviously that's a very personal preference thing. reached Asakusa, and I'm pretty much done with my rolls. I have finished my 120 rolls, and I have a few shots left on my 135, so I'm gonna finish that off here in the neighborhood of Sensoji. And hope you enjoyed the shots. I'm gonna put up some more that I've shot with the CL. And in the case you're wondering about the hat that I'm wearing, with a message that I think appeals to anyone watching this. This is made by the boy Shingi, and if you're watching this, you probably already know what it is. But yeah, if you don't, go head over to his channel and sub to it, and check out his website at shotbyshingi.com. And thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you again in a couple months, I guess. And it's been great having you. Thanks.